Hey, it's the Mindstormer. So, real quick, we are gonna go ahead and watch this, but I just want to let you guys know. So, I am going to go and do an in-depth analysis on the video itself. Then we're gonna go ahead and talk about what I think of the cards, and we are also gonna talk about the few of the leaks as we do this. And also, there is a second card in this video. You guys have to stay and watch it. But yeah, if you guys have already seen this, don't forget to let me know down in the comments because I'm sure you guys have. Alright, guys. So, first of all, we see that we are in a storm. So, next, we see this lightning bolt come down onto the Electro Giant. So, the Electro Giant has the Tesla coils on the back, so it's probably just using the energy here to be powered up for the first time ever. But we go and see him. So, we see here, so we see the Electro Giant. So the Electro Giant looks exactly like the Giant, except for he's had a bit of electricity go through him. So he's got really staticky sideburns there, and he's got two Tesla coils on his back. So this is one thing to notice for sure. Yeah, and for sure, it looks like he's going to be a ranged unit, but a melee unit. So we go ahead, and he just introduces Electro Giant. So you see all the dancing goblins and everything too. But he goes and zaps away a skeleton, and you guys can see that Tesla coil in the background too. And you just have these disco goblins. The Electro Wizard's completely in awe, but we just keep going here, and the King Tower attacks, which unfortunately the Sparky decided to completely get eliminated him. But anyways, so this is all very funny. But we see here, so yeah, he's just like he's okay with it. So we just keep going, and he just punches the tower. So this is pretty neat. We also got these Electro Spirits in the back as well, which in my theory is probably the 101st card. So what I've seen from it is that once it attacks something, it just zaps between troops, and it does it up to like 6 troops, I think, which is insane. And it actually is supposed to have moderate damage, so it's about heal spirit and damage, it looks like. And the giant, I didn't look at his stats in particular, but if we go back into Clash Royale, we can take a look at what I think will be the stats. So, these probably aren't exact at all, but what I'm expecting is, okay, the Tesla coils is probably somewhere around the damage of Electro Wizard, or what's probably even closer to it is the Zappies. So the Zappies is already a Tesla coil, so it would make total sense that it would be even closer to the Zappies. So if we look at tournament standard here, it is 96 damage or 45 damage per second. I have a feeling that the Giant is actually going to attack a little quicker than that. We'll find out, but I also think that it's going to be about twice as powerful as the Zappies because he has 2 Tesla coils on the back of him. So there's that. And I just want to look at the Giant real quick because I have a feeling that the stats of the health and the hits are going to be almost identical to him because it's literally the Giant, except for he's electrified. So I am almost positive that it is. He might even be more powerful. We will find out. Let me bring it up to tournament standard here, and we got 211 damage, which is a very good amount. Honestly, the Giant is one of the more underrated cards because of how much damage it does, and it's a fairly good card in general, but it's kind of still on the expensive side compared to a lot of the other cards anymore, so I feel like that's why it's not being used as much. But still, we got the Giant. He's kind of slow. I don't expect the Electro Giant to be any quicker at all, but he's kind of slow. He's very beefy. He has 327 hit points. That's like nearly 3 baby dragons. Like, if we look at the baby dragon here, yeah, that's over 3 baby dragons. So, If you guys haven't played Giant before, I very encourage you to do it because it is such a good card. It's just not one that's used very often. So I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like these two things. And now we talk about a topic that's probably a little different for it. So I want to talk about elixir costs real quick. So elixir cost is honestly it's not controversial, but at the same time it is. So like the Mega Knight and the Royal Recruits are actually a very good example of it. Let me find them real quick. So the Royal Recruits. So this one really threw people off at the beginning, and I do believe they were 8 elixir at the start of it. Or no, actually I think there were 9. I have to go look it up now. Alright, quick Google search, and it looks like they were originally 8. So yeah, they were a very controversial one, and they weren't used a whole lot because of how expensive they were, and it just never got used. So there's a couple other cards that actually did get changed in Elixir as well. But so what I think it should be equivalent to, the Elixir cost for it, probably 7. I want to say 7. I already looked at the leaks, so it probably is that, but I'm going to put that to the side for a second. I would prefer this card to be about 7. But if it does have the power of 2 Zappies and a Giant, that is already that's about 7 elixir. So that's what I would expect it to be. Yeah, so I feel on that it should be about 7 elixir, because any more than that, and honestly, the Zappies and the Giant mix is probably going to be more capable, but honestly, we haven't seen any mechanics of the Giant yet. There's somebody saying online that it doesn't actually attack until it gets attacked, which I don't think is going to be the way it works. We will find out, I guess. But yes, so we got all that. And another thing I want to talk about is rarity. I have almost no doubt that this is going to be a legendary. I know it's probably going to get quite a few people mad, but the only other category that might fit it is epic. But I mean, we look at the Goblin Giant, for instance, and this does not compare to the Electro Giant, so it has to be legendary. So that's my prediction, is it's going to be legendary. It's going to be about 7 elixir. So the leak did say 8 elixir, which I think is way too steep. I mean, we look at, for instance, we have the Giant Skeleton, which is pretty tanky, and it does a lot of damage, honestly. We have the Golem. The Golem is actually, I feel like it's pretty balanced because of how slow it moves. You can really get some troops behind it and protect it, and it does plenty of damage to the tower right away. So even if you just get it to the tower, it explodes, so on. You guys know this. But I feel like it should be about a Mega Knight in strength. I mean, yeah, it could be a little more, but the Mega Knight as is, he is super powerful. This should be an 8 elixir card. This is as powerful as a Golem. I mean, seriously. But the reality of it is he is also a spell-like troop, which makes people think that he should be 7. So that's why he's that way. But we got the Mega Knight, which does more damage than a Giant to a tower. So if he's somehow more powerful to a Giant in power, then he should be 8 elixir, okay? That's fine, because, I mean, we go back to the Golem again. I know I'm ranting on. We got the Golem. He does over a Giant's worth of damage to the tower. So if he's going to be a true tower killer, then we need to have him at least 7 elixir. I mean, even a 7 elixir troop does more damage to the tower than the Giant does. So it's kind of hard to pick. I mean, we got this, but I also got to show, though, because the Goblin Giant is very different because it does attack the tower as well. So it's kind of interesting. It's showing there. All those Spirit Goblins attack, or both the Spirit Goblins attack the tower. But one thing I didn't go over at all is that its mechanics is supposed to be or from what I'm getting, it's supposed to be kind of like the Ram Rider, where it only attacks the troops with its top unit, but its bottom unit is is what attacks the tower. So this is kind of interesting. I don't know how I feel about this, but I mean, yeah. Okay, next thing, stun. I do think it's probably gonna stun. I don't know how much though. If it stuns, Inferno Tower is gonna be out of the meta again. If you guys haven't seen any Inferno Towers in the meta, you guys are lucky because I'm running against them quite often actually. So, the Zap's like the Electro Wizard, and I have a feeling, you see, this is pretty much exactly like how I'd imagine the Tesla coils to be, is that it's a centered attack rather than it splits up at all. So that's just kind of how I imagine it. So, I mean, we're going to get the card in, 3 days? So you guys are going to be able to see what's going on. Yeah. I'm going to probably cut down this video a lot, guys, by the way. I just wanted to point that out, and I know I've been ranting on for quite a while. Last thing I want to get to before we even think about moving on. We have one last card to look at. These Electro Spirits. So, from what I saw in the leak, is that the Electro Spirits will jump from unit to unit. So, it's going to be a lot like the Electro Dragon Zap, which is really interesting, and I would be surprised if it does. And it's, from what it looks like, it's about the same amount of damage as that. So that is really insane. And to think that if it was like the leak at all, if it zaps between 6 units, you could get a whole skeleton army taken out with this. I mean, well, not quite, but that's only like half of it. But still, okay, a third of it. I knew somebody was going to mention it, so I had to point it out. So a third. But anyways, but still. And if it can hop back to the same unit, it might be able to take out the guard's shield, which I don't see how it would be able to go back to the same unit, because I feel like that would be way overpowered. And this spirit, from the leak, it looked like it was supposed to be 1 elixir. And from nowhere in my head would it be 1 elixir. It has to be at least 2. That is like a log value. I looked at some footage. If it's anywhere close to what I was looking at, it was able to completely take out a minion horde. If you can counter a minion horde with a 1 elixir, how? No, it needs to be. We'll sort it right here. So, Fire Spirits are 2 elixir, and it is nearly the same thing. I mean, surely they take out a whole minion horde by themselves, and don't even have to have a tower to take out the rest of it, but I don't know. It's really interesting, because if it can go between troops, it should be able to hit Inferno Towers and Inferno Dragons really easily, and it would just stop them completely. I don't know. That's probably going to be about it, guys. These 2 cards I really, really like. So, obviously, I'm the Mindstormer. Storm is part of my name. I do that because I like storm and electricity so much, and I like how they affect things. And obviously, I am in for any electric type troops in Clash Royale. Not to mention, it increases the amount of electric type cards I can put in an electric deck. So, sorry if I'm getting a little crazy here, but I like electric. And electricity and lightning and all that. So, these are kind of my thoughts on this. If you guys have any ideas of just thoughts of how these cards should be, or if you guys are excited for these cards, don't forget to leave the like button. But if you guys have any ideas of what you guys think this card should be, don't forget to leave them in the comment section. So I know this is a long, ranty video. Probably not, but we'll find out. But anyways, guys, have a great day, and see you guys for Tuesday for the live stream. See ya.